Recording.
It,
Okay,
it just said it was being live streamed, yeah.
there we go. Okay, good. Let's see. I'd like to call to order the Franklin Township Pro Board meeting. Today is November 1st, 2023. There are, it looks like, 5 Pro Board members in attendance. I am going to pull up my agenda real quick. First order of business, I guess, is the approval of the minutes for October. There's a typo. October. Can I get a second?
I'll second those.
Okay, all approve?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. So that is, sorry, I have a child. So that is, let's see, 5 Pro Board members approve the minutes from October. It doesn't look like there's anyone from the public here. I did get an email earlier today that one of the township residents who's interested in doing some sort of land preservation on his property contacted the township. So I think outside this, so he was possibly going to join tonight. So he may pop in at some point, just so, and if he does, then we'll get to that toward the end of the meeting. Old business. First things first, the You Are Here maps. I think I spoke with, and Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, I spoke with Mary about this, and she said she's at a little bit of a standstill. We wanted to add some information about Crescent Park itself, and we don't really have much information. I mean, I don't know if we just kind of omit that. We include what we can, but if we can't find any real history on the park, then maybe we just proceed without it. Does anyone have any thought on that?
Well, just Andrea, somebody had mentioned Dick Whipple, and they had mentioned it on Facebook, and we talked about it at the meeting. I reached out to him, and he said that it predated him as a township supervisor. It had just happened right before he became a supervisor. I don't know if Jeff can hear us, but he said that he thought that Jeff's mom was integral in having that park set up. Is that something that Jeff could speak to? I mean, Jeff didn't mention that before, but I thought it was curious that Dick referred to Jeff's mom.
He was what I would call an important part of it, but there were also residents within the township that did a petition for the actual naming of the park. But I would say my mother played a role in it.
Okay. Well, he was very complimentary and said that she was very important involved in it, but he didn't have a whole lot to add. But his name, Dick Whipple, his name had been mentioned on Facebook, and then we had talked about it here. He gave me a couple other names of people to talk to, and I'll follow up with Mary about that. But it does seem like it might predate anybody having like any particular knowledge about the land itself.
Okay. Now, if someone wants to on the Pro, I was able to find an old file that's about 8 inches thick for just Crescent Park. So if someone would like to come in and look at that file, I'm happy to make it available to them.
I'm willing to bet Mary would love to do that when she's well, because she likes digging into that historical stuff.
Okay, I'll mention that to her. I'll see if it's something she can.
Well, if she doesn't want to do it, I can go. I can do it.
Are you back in town, Kyle?
Sunday. I'll be back Sunday.
Oh, that's great. Well, there you go.
So
maybe you can both go sit in the office and look at it, and
yeah, we could.
But what is it, Jennifer, we're trying to get out? Just a history to make a blurb, or some details about the name, or what were you specific? Anything specific?
That was my understanding, was that Mary was looking to put something on there that had to do with where the land came from and how it was set up as a park. And I guess the namesake, so it sounds like Jeff answered that question. It was a petition. But but I don't know what other information Mary wanted. And I don't know how many words she can even fit on the sign.
Yeah, that's
Right.
pretty much that's about it.
Elwood Crossan was a much beloved tax collector. I know that doesn't usually go together.
Yeah, that sounds like counterintuitive.
But the other little tidbit of information, again, I don't know if you guys have pages to write or a paragraph, but that property used to be owned by Tom and Marion Newell. And they own that parcel, and they actually lived in the house that Mark Harris lives in now. But the township received grants and then ended up working with the Knowles and the county, and I think the state, for its purchase.
I think we're just looking for a paragraph, just a little blurb to put on the "You Are Here" sign up at the, I guess at the top lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
But I think if they're willing to go through it, you know, they can find the date and some information, and I can fill in the blanks. So again, if they're willing to come in and do it and write it, that's fine.
The other thing too is, and of course, obviously I'm volunteering Mary and Kyle for this, but it might be interesting to, if they could come up with even something that's longer than that what's on, will fit on the sign, is to put something that could maybe be later included on the Facebook page or the website.
Yeah, sure. See what they
I mean,
come
it
up with.
doesn't have to be necessarily just limited to this, the paragraph on the sign, you know, just understanding some of the history and getting better at trying to keep this stuff organized and archive it. I think Paul's talked about that before, as like ways so that we don't have to reinvent something, and as people take over on the probe, we're not starting over again.
Yeah.
The other thing I mentioned to Mary, maybe like labeling on the map where the healing garden is, where the playground is, those kind of things. So when you look at the map, you can just read it rather than have to go to the key to find out what the symbols mean. So she was going to work on that.
I think that sounds like a good idea. I know that after our last meeting, she sent several revisions, and I'm not sure that anyone really responded to them. I think she was just sending out some options. So we can dig into that a little bit more once we have more
and my
info.
understanding is this is like a process. We don't want to rush it because this is like going to be the final sign, and we have some time to make sure it looks good.
I agree.
Yeah, I tried to animate it and like put a fun playground on the but I couldn't. It's hard working with that map, so it didn't work out. So I gave up.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe tomorrow we'll put an email together and we can chat with Mary and Kyle, and we can schedule a time, see if you guys want to go over to meet with Jeff and look at that file. Okay. Okay. Next on the list is the path between the soccer fields and the parking lot at Crossan. Paul, you attended the last Board of Supervisors meeting, and I know after that meeting, you were going to look at several things with the Board of Supervisors. My guess is this is not one of those, and this is still something that is on the to-do list.
Yeah, that's on the winter to-do list.
Okay. All right. So we'll skip over that, right?
Yep.
Disease on the oak trees at Goodwin. So I did get a proposal back from Wild Things regarding what's going on over there on the oak trees. So Paul, you can tell me if this is different than what, or maybe it wasn't Paul, than what you guys found before. He said that it was that the leaves were being skeletonized by an insect called the oak leaf skeletonizer, also called the oak slug sawfly. So he recommends to do a basil bark spray next season during the growing degree days. He thinks that a one-time spray should be enough to mitigate the issue, but he cannot guarantee that. The fee for that is $3,000.
Did he know, did he see that there's two sides of the creek, or is that just this side of the creek?
He did see that there were two sides of the creek. He sent, and I forwarded this to everyone, he sent a report with photos of what he saw. So, I mean, I think, you know, I'm not sure that he wants to attend a meeting, but if we wanted to have further conversation with him about it, we could. I mean, I don't, so I guess I'm new enough to the board that I'm not sure what the process is when something like this comes up, how it gets, you know, I guess we bring it to the Board of Supervisors and they can approve it, or, you know, ask us for other quotes, or.
You know, the Penn State guy, and they agreed it's the same thing. They had come up with the same name. So
okay.
I think the experts agree on that then, except for Strobert's. They had something different. But then whether or not we treat it, they said it depends if the bug comes back or not. So they said, let's just see and wait if it comes back. But what I don't know is if we wait and see if it comes back, if it's then too late to spray. You know, then we've missed a season. But otherwise, yes, if we want to go ahead and spray, we have to get permission from the board to spend $3,000.
Okay, so do you want me to follow up with him and ask him?
Yeah, can we spray after we see it, or because the Penn State guy said, you know, maybe they won't come back as bad next year and it's, you know, not going to kill the tree.
Okay, I'll follow up with him and I will update everyone. Okay. Next item was Bamshire. This is you did go to Bamshire with any of the board of supervisors a couple weeks ago, Paul?
He was there. We lost him, but he did do that. I hear you. He's back.
Okay. So Paul, can you give us an update on
yeah, what's the topic though?
Sorry, Bamshire. The regarding the trail regrading.
I lost connection there for a second. So yeah, I met with the supervisors in two different groups at two different times, but we've got most of them out there, and they're okay with the trail grading. And there's two main sections to regrade, and the one where I want to realign a steep part, everyone was fine with it, but Jim Johnson says he wants to see where I want to realign it to. So I put some flags up this evening and I emailed him. I don't have his text. I don't have his phone number. So I emailed him saying, you know, please come check the flags Thursday or Friday. So the good news is it's a miracle. It's come together, but I've actually gotten the machine from the Delaware Trail Spinners to do the work. So after almost 2 years of waiting, I made the connection. We got the machine. And so I plan to do some work on Sunday on it. So maybe Saturday morning, but definitely Sunday, depending on the weather. And so I would like Jim to approve it, but in the meantime, I can work on the other section if he doesn't approve the curvy part.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's approving.
So
I guess he just wants to see what the layout is, but
I mean, I can comment when you're ready. I think he's just, so it's just because it was a switchback you were talking about because of the steepness. You had suggested a switchback. He just wants to see how extensive that is. You know, if it's a few feet to the right and a few feet to the left, I don't think he's going to have a problem. I think it's more about if it's 30 feet to the left, 30 feet to the right, then he may. So I think he just wants to see the extension of it. I don't think it was the concept. It was to see how.
Well, I pointed to where it would go to those bigger trees, but Donna, what it really comes down to, like if you go, what did you say, a few feet to the right and to the left, like to climb the 12 feet that I need, that would still be too steep. So it's the slope of the hill kind of dictates how far you have to go out.
Yeah, I think he just, yeah, it's for you not. So I think he just needs to see it at the worst. is that he's not comfortable with it, and you just do the other work, and you don't do that work. So I think like you said, you pointed out quite a bit of work already. And we said yes, it was maintenance. So we didn't really approve it. What we did was agree with you, Paul, that it was maintenance, and that's something that the board at the last meeting agreed is you do. That's your purview, right? That's the pro is helping us out, helping the township out by dealing with the maintenance for these trails. So there was that agreement that yes, that was maintenance. The switchback was considered a new trail, a new work that's being done, and Jim had just asked to see it laid out. And if you don't hear from him, then I would not do it. I would just continue to do what we've agreed.
Wait. No. You said
yes,
if I don't hear from him.
He wants to approve. He wants to see what it is. If you don't,
Well, can you
text
it, Donna? Can you text him for me, because it's
Oh
taking
yeah, I'm
2 years.
happy to do that.
It's taken 2 years to get this machine, and I'd hate to, I know it's short notice, but he and I just met, and then now we're, it's all happening put together, and I'd like him to come look at it, and I'd like to meet him out there.
Okay, so the man works like you do. And sometimes he travels, but so what I promise you, Paul, is I will text him right after this meeting. So I will do it today. I will do it now.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if he does not get to, for some reason, he can't give you the okay, then you don't have the okay to do that part of it. You have the okay to do everything else we talked about that was considered maintenance.
Well, he's one supervisor then. Could I come back to the other 4?
Okay, so I'm with him, and I know Stefan will be. So you have 3 that had asked for it to be looked at.
Well, all right. Would you mind coming out and look at it?
I'm leaving Jim do it. So let's not jump ahead of ourselves. Let's see what if we have Jim, if he has his availability. If he can't, if we don't, then we can work on what
Sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. But I will do that today, I promise you.
So that's the update, Andrea. I mean, I think it's good news. It's hard to get anything done. I tell you, I used my own truck, went and got it, my own diesel fuel for the machine, my time. I'll try to do it if I can, if I get permission.
Okay. Well, like I said, you can do everything. You got the okay to do it. Do you have? You have what you showed us is good stuff, right? So, please do it. Do the part that you showed us, and it's going to be a definite improvement because it will help make that area right next to the water a little bit wider. So I think that's more of a safety thing. So I don't want to make everybody depressed. There's some good work that can be done and can be done without any further feedback from the board. It's just this one part that was a switchback that I'm just saying, just wait till you get that feedback. So don't, like I said, this isn't all bad, and Jim may just say, yeah, it's fine. But so I hope you still do it. Don't not do it if you don't hear from Jim. Don't not do the rest of it. I hope I'm being clear.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I understand your position on it. I mean, it is just, it would really be a shame to not be able to get it done, especially since Paul's worked so hard it's taken so long to get the machinery. And so if you could just update us as soon as you've heard from Jim, that would be very helpful.
That's no problem.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Let's see, the trail at White Clay Crescent. Paul, did you guys talk about that anymore at the Board of Supervisors meeting?
Oh, we did. I explained who it was, and and we actually had the woman come out to meet the supervisors on Friday, but the others didn't make it, and she didn't make the second meeting. But I don't think there's anything more to discuss there. Donna was going to talk to Jeff to make sure she gets permission to. I'm not sure what to use our trails or to
let me just be, so it's not permission. So Andrea, what I've asked, and I have contacted Jeff, is that I'm sorry, I always forget her name, Paul. What is her name again? April. That when April is planning to do a hike, and I mean not just her, but if she's going to take 20 people on a hike or 15, whatever her number of folks are, just to give the township office a call or an email, just say our plan is to be in the whatever area it is during this day. She doesn't have to fill out a form. She doesn't have to ask for an approval. It's just a heads up to let us know that she's going to be there.
I think it's fine. I just want to point out that we don't ask any other group anywhere to give us a heads up to use our park.
Well, we're going to ask April.
Okay.
Is there, do we need I mean, is there an ordinance that needs to be done? I mean, just more to Paul's point, like, is that something that the?
No, it's just a courtesy. It's just a courtesy. She's bringing a group of people through. We just want to know that that just gives us a heads up that she's going to be there. I don't see it as a big deal. I think, Paul, you told me she used to do it in the past. And we're just, once again, there was no ordinance. It was no big deal. She let the township know. Just asking.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with her giving a courtesy, but I guess just from a legal standpoint, like there's no violation, or like they can't get in trouble if another group does that.
No, it's just called being a good neighbor.
Yeah,
Okay.
So-
Yeah, I don't see a problem. It doesn't sound like she seems like she'll have a problem with it. I just want to make sure like that, it's not breaking the law or anything.
no, and we don't have anybody to enforce it if it was. So not that I would tell her that, but no, she's not breaking the law. There's no law in that case.
Okay. Next up on the list is open space conservation. So last meeting, I mentioned that Jeff had forwarded an email from a group in Chester County. I'm pulling up the email right now. It was just Chester County. It came from the Planning Commission, I think. And they wanted to educate us on our open space and trails. And so I contacted them. They are going to join us at next month's meeting. I think it's somebody from the Brandywine Conservancy, and then also a Chester County representative. And so they're going to join us at our next meeting.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That'll be nice. The next item was a time-sensitive one. It was the placing of the stones around the trees at Crossan Park. That work is almost completed. I believe that Betsy had to have Jeff deliver a little bit more stone over there. But it is, I think, substantially completed. It'll be complete. If it's not done today, it'll be done in the next day or two. So they're in the middle of it.
Who are the ones that worked on that project, volunteered their time?
So that was Betsy Odgers, and she had, I think, Noah, the neighbor, was helping. He does a lot of work in the healing garden. And then there was one other person she said was helping out. And so I think it was a group of three. It could have been more. It could have been her son-in-law as well, but I'm not entirely sure, or her son. So, but that's getting taken care of, which is good. She did bring up a point that there is over in Franklin Preserve. It was an email she sent not that long ago to me, so I haven't gotten it to everyone. She said that there is a section of Franklin Preserve that looks like there are trees with tubes around them that never got stoned. I'm going to send that photo to everyone. She asked, I know that Bob mentioned that the FSA was looking for maybe some work hours, and she mentioned, and so Betsy sent me a picture and she said maybe that's something that they could help us with. So I'll send everyone that information. Does anyone know about trees that were somewhat recently planted over in Franklin Preserve?
Yeah. I don't think we need to put the stone around them, but
I'm thinking about going to meet him up at Princeton. They're just up the house right now.
They were planted years ago, and then they failed, and then they replanted them, and part of them failed, and then I planted them a third time. I didn't plant them the first two times. So all the trees with blue tops on their tubes, we put stone around. That's the replacement trees. And then the other ones have been in there for, 3 or 4 or 5 years, depending on which planting they were in. And I don't think it's worth going back and putting stone around them. I mean, the trees are, getting larger, and the tubes are falling apart. So I wouldn't bother, but we can take a look at it. I don't think it's worth it. It's like 600 trees. It's a lot of work, and it is nowhere near mowed. Like it would cost us more money to mow it than it would be worth.
Okay, that's fine. I just thought I'd bring it up. Let's see. Next item on the list is the 2024 initiatives for the Pro Board. Last time we talked about trail maintenance. We also have talked about sorry guys. The Cross and Park path, and maybe trail signs. Those are a couple of things we've talked about. I don't know, since our last meeting, has anyone thought of anything else that they'd like to kind of prioritize for 2024?
Did we ever find out about the Boy Scout and the trail signs?
So we've not heard back from him, and I have emailed several times, and so I think that might be just a wait and see. I don't know. I mean, maybe after the first of the year, if we have not heard anything back, I'll reach back out and see if, maybe it's something the Pro Board wants to take on if he doesn't want to. But it seems like we've got enough Boy Scout interest in people looking for those Eagle Scout projects that it might be something we could put on somebody and not something that the Pro Board has to figure out a way to fund. But it, I don't know. There is, and I did forward you guys some information, and this is listed under new business, but we did receive an email about a grant. It is the Round 36 Preservation Partnership Grant Program. And maybe if we needed money to do trail signage, we could apply for that grant, but I think we'll have to look at it a little bit more closely together and see if it applies. Okay.
You were asking about other initiatives. Paul had mentioned the upgrading the playground. Is there still any interest in that, or is that something?
Yeah, I would still like to make a presentation. I just haven't got my stuff together. I had it all together, and then we had other priorities, but I would like to present that, the zip line thing. It was pretty exciting, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to be a downer, but I did mention this to Paul after we did the trail, we walked the trail. So everyone, of course, is welcome to our board meetings. And in November, what is it, the 6th, we'll have a board meeting to discuss the budget for 2024. And there's an unfunded mandate called MS4. It has to do with stormwater. And based on feedback we've gotten from our consultant, it's a project that will cost us $3 million over 5 years. And it doesn't ever end. I mean, it's just, so you have a 5-year permit, you have to reduce your sediment load by a certain amount, and that has a certain expense to it, along with any type of engineering and validation and documentation that needs to be submitted to the DEP. So the township will be under a lot of scrutiny in terms of what we currently spend to come up with. I mean, $3 million. Our budget isn't that big, so it's like that would be like $600,000 every year. We'll have to figure it out. But I don't think it's going to leave any money for playgrounds or updating playground equipment. And you know how I feel about the playground. I'm happy it's painted. I think it looks a lot better. I was hoping for some new equipment, but I won't even propose it. So Paul, I won't tell you not to do it, but I will tell you the likelihood of it happening with the MS4 mandate hanging over our heads is very unlikely. So just like I said, just the feedback from one board member, all are welcome to the November 6th meeting if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of what these numbers look like.
Yeah, I understand the MS4 unfunded mandate, Donna, but let us bring it forward, and maybe some of these grants could pay
That's
for
right.
it, and there may be other ways, volunteers. I don't want to just crap on ideas without exploring them first. I'd like to fully explore it, and if nothing else, we get the idea fully cooked, and then put it on the shelf until we can afford it, or we see an opportunity come around. But to just say no because you don't want to do it, I don't think that's fair to the volunteers.
Okay, so I didn't say no. I just want to give you guys some feedback. So as I said, you're more than welcome to put the ideas out there. I just wanted to give you some of the reality of the budget situation. So that's all I'm doing, giving you a perspective. You're welcome to put the proposal up.
Yeah, and Paul, let's look at this grant that I just forwarded over to everyone and see if it might apply to park equipment.
Okay.
Yeah,
they usually do. They usually do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it does say park and trail improvement grants to fund the park facility and trail construction. And so, it may be a good thing for us for either playground equipment, the trail maintenance between, that lower trail down at Crossin, past the lower soccer field. So let's see if we can figure out a way to apply for this grant and make it work for us.
Good.
Okay. I am going to keep cruising on this. So if anyone else, again, I think, we've got a little bit of time left and certainly the list wouldn't be set in stone, but if anyone has any ideas of things that we want to kind of focus on for 2024, I think, we've have a lot of little things kind of in the works, but if we could come up with a couple larger things to kind of really focus our time on, that could be helpful. I know we're coming off of several large projects, and so we'll keep our 2024 in focus. New business, memorial tree updates. So we had somebody approach Greg Sachs about adding a memorial tree over at Crossin Park. This is not the time of year to plant a tree. I guess my question is, I'm going to go back to this person, but where is the information regarding, the trees that were purchased previously?
So,
what types of trees, where they came from, all that stuff. How do I respond to this person?
The office kind of takes care of ordering and arranging, and our responsibility was to go meet the people, decide on a spot, maybe mark it with a stake, and then if necessary meet the Clark's tree people out there to show them where to put it. But the office is the one who ordered it and ordered the plaque and has the records. I actually don't know who in the office did it though. Maybe Jeff knows.
Okay, well, I can also ask Stacy to get us in.
Yeah, I assume it's Stacy, but I don't know. And then I'm just hoping I thought his email was going to say that their tree died and they want to know what we're going to do. So I hope that their first tree is in good health so that when they go put the second one. So the only caution I have is most likely tree planting season is probably over for Clark's Brothers.
Yeah.
For the year, I don't know. But if it's still going, it's probably only 2 more weeks, I'm guessing. And their prices change every season. So before we commit to anything for these people, if there is any time this year, I would say we just need Stacy to get fresh pricing. And so we can let the people know what the new prices are. It might be the same as when they did it before. It might not be. I don't know. And then if there is no more planting this year, we'll tell the people, let's select your tree, but we'll have to tell you the price of it next spring when Clark's Brothers gives us their new pricing.
Okay.
So I'm happy to meet with them if you want me to walk with them, but I would like Stacy to tell us whether we can still plant trees and what if she has current pricing.
I'll work on that and I'll let you know, Paul.
I can at least let you know that when we asked for current pricing within the past couple of months, they said it would be based on market pricing. And it's nothing that they would hold for more than about a week.
That's fair.
And I'm pretty sure Greg said that we're done for the year.
Are we? Are they done for the year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said that.
And we're gonna have freezing temperatures tonight, so I think there's gonna be some times where it's just not gonna be feasible. And I'm a little concerned still about the trees from last year, like how they're gonna make out.
Yeah, it's the drought. We didn't do a good job. We got to get on the watering sooner. But once they're established, it's the first years when they're at risk. After that, you shouldn't have to water them unless it's some really crazy drought.
Yeah. Well, let's see how the other ones do, and I'll follow up with this person, and I think it's a good thing to have on the books for next year.
Yeah, and for the planting, it's not so much the frost, it's when everything dies back, the grass, the trees, and the ground stays wet all the time, they can't bring their equipment in without really tearing up the yard or the grass. And so they won't come in for that reason. They don't want to be responsible for their machinery tearing up our property.
Okay. Okay. Next up on the list is so let's see, there is a big Elk Creek State Park meeting coming up. So we talked about this somewhat recently, I think, and I forwarded everyone an email. And I don't know if anyone from our group is interested in going. Jennifer, did you say that you or your husband was a liaison for kind of us in that process, in the early process of the kind of the planning of that park?
Let me defer to Paul. My husband was contacted by Paul Agassi to be part of the White Clay Creek Preserve Society. I don't know if that's different. Is that different, Paul?
It's the same, but
Okay.
the effort changed. Like the leadership at the Ridley Creek State Park changed, and now they're kind of rebooting the effort. So
Okay.
I'm interested in going to the November 6th meeting, and I'd like to volunteer again because they haven't contacted me and probably haven't contacted your husband. I think with this leadership
No,
change,
yeah, like it kind of dropped off. He
it
went to a
dropped
couple
off the rate.
meetings.
Yeah, I agree.
And
And
then he never
the
heard back.
pandemic didn't help, right? So we'll see what happens in November, and I'd like to have your husband back on if he's willing, and then
Yeah,
of course
November
Lagasse.
6th. And I'll look up your email, Andrea, and I'll definitely reach out to you and let you know what his schedule is.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
But I encourage, Andrew, you forwarded it, right? So I encourage everyone to go.
Yeah.
And speak your part, because it swings wildly. Like they're saying they're not going to do anything in there, and people will just have to make their own way. And then there's others that, hey, we want to put in restrooms and a parking lot and a soccer field. It's two extremes. And so I want to encourage us to get some trails in there as a minimum, and some parking lots would be great. That's kind of a bonus. But other people have other ideas.
Is Paul still, do you know if Paul Lagasse is still involved, or you think he'll probably still come to the meeting?
I don't know.
Okay.
I assume so. He's pretty well connected.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully several of us can make it there. And if anyone can't locate that email, just let me know. I think that they are kind of widely publicizing that meeting. I got a flyer in the mail for it. So
yeah, I did too. Yeah.
So hopefully they get a good turnout. The next item is that Round 36 Preservation Partnership Grant. I emailed everyone about that. I think this we've received several information on several grants that didn't work for us, and also had a kind of a very short turnaround time on applications. And so we've got a little bit of time on this one to think through. I think it is February 29th. Applications are due. So we've got a little bit of time. So if we're going to talk about, Lower Crossing Park Trail or playground equipment, I think let's work to get it together, and let's maybe have some conversation offline about ideas and and what we can do. And then the last thing is additional topics. Anyone have anything else that?
Yeah, I do. I want to get it in before you leave. I just texted us the group a photo when I went to Bamshire this evening to mark the trail for Jim Johnson. I noticed that the hunters have installed poles and a chain and a sign in the middle trails to close it for the month that they were given permission to close it. So I thought you all should see that. And one comment is, when I bring this machine in on this weekend, I need to use that trail. So I was hoping Bob was here to work out an arrangement that if nobody signed up to hunt for that day, I could take the chain down and go through. You know what I mean? Like I want to use that trail to get in. You know, I can't drive machinery down all the trails. There's only a few. And the other comment is the sign just says trail closed November 1st to December, whatever, 15th. I don't remember. But I think we should add to that wording and say, you know, for hunting by Franklin Sportsman's Association members only, or something like that. Like, I think we should tell the public why, you know, that it's not a mystery why we've closed our trails. So I would like to.
We should tell them purely for safety reasons. I mean, I think people should somebody's hunting back there. And I know that hunting is posted.
Right.
But people should. I think it would be nice for them to know. I don't want
think it's a courtesy
to have to remake their trail or their trail line, but.
I think it's a courtesy, but I'm also just surprised, you know, Bob's very good about informing us. Like, he didn't let us know that these were being installed. Like, I would think the pro would know what was going on, but I guess not. So, I mean, good for them. They did a good job installing them. They look nice. I'm a little worried. They're very narrow. I don't think I can fit a truck through there, but I'm not sure. But it would have been nice to have the signs wording agreed to. So maybe when Bob gets back from wherever he is, we can discuss that with him as the liaison.
Okay, well, let's send him a text message. I mean, I think, you know, we knew the sign and they were going to close off the trail, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe because we knew that they didn't feel like they needed to, you know, to tell us, to give us.
No, just like a courtesy. Hey, we're working there this weekend type thing. Hey, the sign is laminated and printed. I was wondering if you did that in the office, or where the laminated signs came from.
I did not work on those signs, nor did I work on the closure of the trails.
Okay. So that was my topic.
Okay. Andrea, how about the bathrooms?
Oh, the bathroom. Sorry. So that's a good topic. So Jeff did get pricing, I guess, and maybe Jeff can speak to this on heating those bathrooms through the winter months. Jeff, can you give us a little bit of an update on that?
I didn't realize I was going to be on for that tonight.
Sorry.
Going off the top of my head, I called in St. John's. It would be roughly $10,100. And that would have to involve some rerouting of plumbing, and then the trying to keep that just above freezing.
And I guess, you know, I mean, that's a big number. So, I mean, and we're firmly against a porta potty for there, right?
No, I wanted to bring back the porta potty. We had.
Well, I think that the board of supervisors is against it.
Well, maybe now with that high price and that they're trying to save money, we should revisit.
We should revisit it, but
for
also
$200, we could try the porta potty for 1 month.
Right, and also the argument was that Nickel Park removed their porta potties, but I noticed, you know, last month that Nickel Park porta potties are back, and they've just moved them back from the road a little bit, so people don't use it as a truck stop. So I think their location was just poor and it caused problems, but they have porta potties. The Little League has porta potties. There's porta potties all over. I think we should try it for a month for whatever, $100 or $200, whatever you said, and see how it goes.
And I think that the consideration was that the supervisors were against it, you know, based on trying to explore other options. But now, you know, as Donna mentioned, if money is going to be an issue, you know, maybe obviously $10,000 is way more than anybody wants to spend, but with soccer games and soccer fields needing to be open, I think we should revisit the porta potty issue.
Okay, well then I think we can bring it to their attention at the board of supervisors meeting. We can discuss it. We can discuss it again. Okay, I have to go, and so I'm happy to adjourn. My kids are chomping at the bit. I'd be happy to adjourn the meeting now, or I can hop off if you guys have any other topics.
I
just have one comment. So Paul, I did text Jim, and I can send another text about the trail too, just as an FYI to him about the closing of the trail. So I did send the text. I just want to let you know that.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome to send him my cell phone number if you want, and he can text me. You have it. So I'm okay if you just want to wrap it up, Andrea. Thanks. I appreciate you doing it out of your car. That's crazy, but that's dedication. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Andrea. Yeah, I'm all good too.
Soccer ball on the side of the field with my younger son. Yay! Okay. All right. So I'm going to let's see, vote to adjourn the meeting. All in favor?
All in favor.
Aye.
Thank you to your kids. Thank you to your kids for listening. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.